Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I am going to make a tangy cabbage apple slaw. I told you. So we need 1 head of a green cabbage, 2 pounds. Mine's a little over, but it's plus or minus 2 pounds. We're going to core this and chop it very, very fine. I actually weighed my cabbage so I knew how much it weighed. Oh, I need a knife. I was so excited about this recipe. I didn't even bother to get the equipment out. I get excited about a recipe and I'll do this. This is sometimes why you see me walking around, is actually because I'm so excited to try this recipe. I want to try it. Okay. You are going to eat that food before I give you anything else, so you can cry and whine all day. It ain't going to work, as they say. I love these knives. They're like one piece. So I can pound them like this. When I get the wooden ones, I usually break the handles on them. And I don't want to do that. And the cores are hard to go through. So a mallet is your saving grace. Okay. Well, I didn't get the core yet. What I'm trying to do is cut the core out. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I'm back, just checking out the core. Next week I'm going to start collecting my vegetable peelings and making stock to get it ready for winter. And I want to make, now they want this thin sliced, very thin sliced. Take it and put it in a bowl. Now I'm going to continue doing the rest of this cabbage, taking the core off and then slicing it, and I will be back. Okay, you are going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to this. And you're going to toss it around. Right now what you're going to do, this is the weird part. You're going to put it in a colander just like this. Put it over a bowl and you're going to just put it to the side for a whole hour. and we're gonna let that salt draw a lot of the, it's gonna be like a semi-wilt because the salt's gonna draw out some of that fluid and stuff and make it softer for us. And that's gonna take about an hour, and I'll be back then. Okay, it's been 1 hour. What you're going to do, oh, fluid did come out. We are going to rinse this under cold water thoroughly because you're rinsing the salt off and the extra fluid off of it. If you want to see what I'm doing, I'll show you. I'm right here, right now. I'm giving this a good rinse. Then we'll talk about why we let it sit an hour. Yeah, I have dishes. I just finished one set, and here I go dirtying another set. All right, we're gonna let this drip. Now you are gonna need 2 green apples, and you're going to need 2 scallions. Now the reason why we sat there and let the cabbage sit for an hour with the salt is to draw the extra fluid out. You know when you make a cold slaw and there's some left over and you stick it into the refrigerator, it's very watery. So this is why you sit there and let it sit in salt in a colander with a bowl underneath it to catch the fluid coming out. I actually lost, I think about 1/4 of a cup or a little more, almost a 1/2 cup of water off my cabbage. So it'll dry. So as this is draining before we dry it, what it does is it'll keep, when you put the dressing on it, it will sit there and have more of a crispness to it. If you stick it in the refrigerator with leftovers, it won't be so watery. So I have to get a towel now because we're gonna have to dry this cabbage. Give me a moment. Okay, now what we're gonna have to do is dry this cabbage. The drier it is, the better it's going to be. So I got a towel. We're gonna dry this to the best of our ability. That's why you rinse it and drain it. I don't have any room. Hey, we learn tricks in the kitchen. I have this big towel here. See, I have the cabbage in here. Make sure you get the whole seam when you go to do this. See all the water that's coming out of it? I might need another towel. They want this as dry as possible. This is really, really wet. I might have to get more. Another towel. Don't worry, I have lots of towels too. Let me get another one. Okay. Maybe this one will do better. Because this towel is really wet. Yeah, you're watching me. I'm trying to dry my cabbage. But anyway, I've never had this coleslaw, but I did learn a trick. I told you, nobody knows everything. And if you wish to grow in your cooking, we learn from each other. Okay, here we go again. Trying to dry it. When I was growing up, there weren't many cookbooks. I could say Julia Child really opened the door for that. Because we used to get recipes out of magazines, and I remember women would look at get women's magazines, and if they found a recipe they liked, they would cut it out, and then they would sit there and tape it into or what do we call them, a spiral. And that's how we collected recipes. We didn't buy the cookbooks. It was very few cookbooks were really out. Listen, this towel's getting really wet. So we're drying this. Give me 1 minute. Okay, I'm back. Alright, I think we've gotten about as much fluid as I can get. And I'm going to put it in this bowl this time. Now we're going to do some chopping. I have to get a cutting board and a knife, so give me a minute. Okay, you're going to need 2 scallions. All right, they want these thin sliced. See, if you have it thick sliced, that its flavor will come out. Some things have to be chopped fine because they have a stronger flavor than what you're using, and you want a certain flavor to hang out. Well, stand out, I should say. Hang out, but it's not going to hang out. Well, they are. They're hanging out in the salad bowl. So this is why you do this. Like when you make curries, you have to chop things fine, because if you don't, one flavor is going to override the other, and you want them to mingle just right for a curry. That's why I do a lot of fine chopping when I make a curry. Now you're going to put this with the cabbage. Now you need 2 green apples, and we're going to core these. Now I'm going to try to do it that way. All right. This is a core. It's really great. It does take a lot of problems off when you have to do it. Don't always get it perfect, but It makes it a lot easier for you. Pretty much apples should be coming out soon. Missed that one too. Okay, now we have to thin slice this because we are going to make matchstick slices. That means we are really going to be doing some chopping and slicing here. See? You're going to throw that in there too. I think I can bring the bowl over now. Throw it in here. And the matchsticks, see? See how easy it is? It's just time consuming is what it is, that's all. We're going to do 2 green apples like this and put it in here. Do you know a taxi cab driver who brought me home from the store, because I don't drive. They're crazy in New York City driving, and I thought I was a bad driver. I will never drive in the metropolitan area. Man, I couldn't deal with it. He sat there and said, you know, every time I see you, you always have a smile on your face, and you're so pleasant to everybody. I thought that was the nicest compliment somebody could give me. I said, good thing you don't catch me on a bad day. He said, if you even have a bad day. I said, people irritate me. I can go there sometimes. I don't want to, but I can. But that was a nice thing to say. You know, to know that I make his day just by being polite and happy. Sometimes that's all people need, and it makes their day so much better. A smile goes a long way. Angry words destroy people. All right, I got 1 more apple to go. But you have to admit, that's a nice compliment to hear. You know, somebody say that. You make their day because you're happy. I mean, what can you say? You just sit there and smile, you know? I smell the onions. I only put 2 in there. Can't smell anything else right now. Okay, I missed that part. So that was really nice. And today, I didn't even go to the meat store today. I didn't have to go because I have enough meat. And I spent money. And people are angry. I was talking to the cashier and she said people are mad. They're angry. They can't eat. You could end up angry, hungry people that are, oh man, that is a bad combination. When they're hungry, that is not good. I see people having a bad day. They start talking to me. I make them my friends. And I tell them to get a hug because you're my friend. And they start smiling. I met a nice security at the store. A very nice man. He speaks 7 languages. I have trouble with English. He speaks 7 languages. He's been all over Europe. He's served the country. And I was just so happy. He was in the Army. We talked about my husband. He's in the Marines, Special Forces. He said, oh, I know what your husband did. I said, oh, okay. I said, I don't, because he didn't talk about it. But he told me he could go across from he could serve with any branch of the military because of what he was. I can't remember what he said, but anyway, I was really happy to talk with him. Talking to a vet. His children are all overseas. They all live overseas because they like it over there better. They can be accepted as people. And what's funny is that he says in America they have a color issue, but in Europe they don't. My children are there and they're happy. They don't have to worry that they're accepted as a human being. They can wake up and not have to worry. I said it's bad, but my father always told me, well, my mother, that ignorance breeds racism. So I couldn't be a racist. Because I look at it that we're all children of God. Just because one has a yellow skin or red skin or brown or black or white or pink with purple polka dots, we're all created and we're all brothers and sisters. And when we really look back into our history, in our genealogy, they now have proven, science has proven this, through the women, that we all come from one man and one woman. And we carry those markings in our bodies. The men don't, but the women carry it. And it states that we're all from one couple. One Adam, one Eve. What I'm doing is tossing the apples as I put them in here so they don't turn brown. That's what I'm doing because I know the cabbage will prevent that. This is a big salad. Listen, if there's just 2 of you and your children are grown, listen, just cut the recipe in half. Cut it down into 4ths if you have a small family, or You could be eating leftovers for a while. I'll show you. This is a big salad. I thought one of my sons was going to be home, and he said, "Oh no, Mommy, I was invited out to go to dinner." I said, "Well, thank you for telling me today." You know? Oh, I want to make another salad tomorrow. Oh my God, I'm going to make stuffed bell peppers tomorrow. And this salad is so unique. I'm going to make it. I'm going to have salads all over the inside the refrigerator. That's okay. Yeah, I know. You're turning brown because there's nothing I can do about that. I just do the best I can with what I have. Just think if you did this with, I'm having a kielbasa with it today. But just imagine having barbecued spare ribs with this, or fried chicken. Oh, this would be really good. But I know it's going to go well with the kielbasa as well. Okay, I think we've done enough of that chopping. Mix it all up. I think I'm done with the chopping. So any recipe, if it's too much for you, cut the recipes in half, okay? Because my sons are big eaters, very big eaters. When they eat, okay? I'm just tossing this all over the floor is where I'm tossing it. Mix them up, and then we're going to get to the dressing. Now this dressing is going to be cooked. We're going to actually heat it up. You know why we're going to heat it up? Because the apple is raw and the cabbage is dry. It will absorb those flavors better. So get this out of the way. Let me get the other stuff, and we'll get that part going. Okay, I think I got everything, all right? You're going to add a ½ cup of cider vinegar. You're going to add a ½ cup of sugar. All right, we need 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil. Now, I don't use vegetable oil, but I know my mother did. Vegetable oil doesn't have much of a taste to it, so I'm going to use sunflower oil, and we need 6 tablespoons of it, because sunflower doesn't really have a taste, so I said I'll go ahead and use it. All right, we need 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. I am running out of mustard. This is the last bottle I have of this. I think I'm going to have to go and buy some Guinnesses so I can make it. All right, and you need 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. That's it. Where they want me to do this? Okay. I'm still not going to eat until late today. I wanted to go out and pick my jars up from my friend. He's got them and I can't because this is going to take so long to do. We're going to bring this to a boil over medium heat. Cookbook out of the way. Well, that's medium heat for this one. Okay, let me get you over here. I had to go out and buy measuring wooden spoons. I actually am breaking them. Mine are about 40 years old. They're very old wooden spoons, and they finally have had their day. One of them broke. I didn't believe it. Okay. Oh, I got the whole grains to make Isaiah's bread, which I am over ecstatic about. So we're just going to bring this to a boil, and then what we're going to do is we are going to be pouring it over the salad and tossing it, and that will be it. I was just putting some things away. Now, when we toss this, you're going to cover it with saran wrap, and you're going to let it sit for a whole hour. You can put it in the refrigerator or leave it on the table if you wish, but you're going to cover it with saran wrap, where you're going to let these flavors mingle together. And I'm looking off saying, you know how hungry I am? I did not eat breakfast. I had a glass of milk and I ran out today. I'm getting hungry. So then it will be done. They said you can make this up to 24 hours ahead of time. But now we understand why we sit there and soak cabbage with salt and put it in a colander to drip over a bowl for an hour. And then we rinse it thoroughly and pat it dry. Then that way you won't have all that liquid that you usually get when you have leftover cold slaw. So we've learned a new trick. I'm gonna have to get some more spoons. This is just not enough. I got two because I like these. The other ones had other things to it, and I said I don't need that. What I need are some spoons. So I'll get some more wooden ones, since my old ones are breaking. I thought they'd last my whole life. I did not believe the biggest one I have, which I like working with the most, just gave out. I have one that my bird ate. You can actually see it. I don't think it's here. Is it here? No, it must be in the sink somewhere, but you see half of the spoon off? He used to climb up there, little Dudley, and he would hold on to everything else and chew that one spoon. He loved that one spoon, man. He went to town on it. I said, you know, you're not going to leave me any. Oh, it's getting ready to boil. Okay, let me get you back here again. Sorry, I keep moving you around. Now you're gonna take all of this and we're gonna pour it and toss it. God, it smells good already. sorry you can't smell this, but if you make it, you will. Another way of making coleslaw. I think I have a, oh no I don't. Shoot, I'm gonna have to use saran wrap. I was just wondering if I had a lid big enough to sit over this bowl. Let's get this saran wrap and get this thing covered. Dang. Remember, take from the bottom, everything's going to come tumbling. Wrong one. What is this one doing here? It doesn't belong in this department. You know, when saran wrap first came out, we called it plastic wrap, and it did not have a cutter on it. We had to get the scissors and cut it, and it stuck. Oh man, my mother hated working with it. It would annoy her. Up one end and down the other. Okay, take this back here, cut it, and then we'll go this side. Okay, that's it. 1 hour, and that is it. Okay, yes. So, listen, you take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.